One regular board meeting to order at 6 o'clock p.m. Our invocation will be conducted by Aaron Holland, and our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Tucker Green. Out of respect for those two items, will you please stand up? Mr. Holland.
Bow our head. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for continuing to bless our county and bless our staff. We pray that you will keep our students and staff safe as they finish out the summer. Let them be ready to start school strong once we return, Lord. Be with us this evening as we finish up this board meeting. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The next item is the approval of the agenda. Mr. Young, do you have any amendments to the agenda?
I do not, Madam Chair.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make that motion.
All right.
I'll second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. The agenda has been approved. The next item on the agenda is public participation. Mr. Young, did anyone submit a request for public participation by the deadline?
They did not, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you. The next item on the agenda is recognition. Ms. Shope will be in charge of those two items.
This evening, we are excited to introduce you to some of our outstanding PHS students who participate in the Pickens Technology Student Association, also known as TSA. These students have an interest in engineering and technology education, pathway, and STEM education programs. The Pickens TSA is part of the Georgia TSA and strives to prepare students to be successful inventors, designers, creative problem solvers, responsible citizens, and leaders who will influence and build the future. Georgia TSA prepares its members to be successful leaders in a technological society through co-curricular activities such as communication, leadership, teamwork, and competitive skill development. TSA held its virtual National Leadership Conference, or as advisor Angela Quarles likes to refer to it, the longest TSA conference ever, because students submitted their initial competition entries on May 14th, participated in a variety of live interviews, presentations, and testing throughout the entire month of June, and results came in on the last day of June. Pickens TSA had 6 students who qualified for national level competition in multiple events. And I'm going to read each of these categories, and Mrs. Quarles will present them their certificates, and I will tell you a little bit about each of these areas. The first presentation is for biotechnology design. Participants select a contemporary biotechnology problem and demonstrate an understanding of the topic through documented research, the development of a solution, a display including an optional model or prototype, and an effective multimedia presentation. Those 2 students are Luke Quarles and Michael Ramsey. If you'll come forward. And actually, if you'll just remain at the front. The next presentation is for chapter team. The chapter team participants take a written parliamentary procedures test. These team members are Brooke Bell, Dylan Coley, Brett Menard, Jerry Spites, Luke Quarles, and Michael Rumsey. Congratulations to all of these students. The next recognition is for data science and analytics. These participants collect data, conduct an analysis of the data, and make a prediction about the outcome. Participants document and summarize their research within a scientific poster and present their findings. These team members are Jerry Spites and Luke Quarles. The next category is digital music production. These participants develop a digital video with sound that reflects the theme of the year. These participants are Brett Menard and Dylan Coley. The next category is extemporaneous speech. This participant verbally communicates their knowledge of technology or TSA subjects by giving a speech after drawing a card on which a technology or TSA topic is written. Congratulations to Jerry Spites. The next group that we would like to recognize is engineering design. These participants develop a solution to a National Academy of Engineering Grand Challenge that is posted on the National TSA website. The solution offered will be informed and designed by precise problem definition, thorough research, creativity, experimentation when possible, and the development of documents and appropriate models, mathematical, graphical, and/or physical prototypes and models. This team consists of Brooke Bell, Brett Menard, and Michael Rumsey. Next, we have the Technology Bowl. These participants demonstrate their knowledge of TSA and concepts addressed in the technology content standards by completing a written objective test. These team members are Brooke Bell, Brett Menard, and Michael Rumsey. Each of these students did an amazing job in their competitions and represented both Pickens High School and Georgia TSA well. The first week of June, Pickens County learned that our biotechnology design team, consisting of Luke Quarles and Michael Rumsey, made the semifinals. They were required to present virtually to a panel of judges and then participate in an interview. Although they encountered conflicts with the school systems network and the National TSA virtual platform, they connected using data from their cell phones and still performed well. They put their presentation on the Promethean board since they didn't have enough service to share a screen while tethering to a cell phone and did their best through the technical issues. We found out mid-June they were in the top 10 in the nation. And on June 30th, it was announced that Luke and Michael placed 5th overall in the nation in biotechnology design. Congratulations. For their project, they created a mobile app and web page that works on both iPhones and Android devices that walks individuals through knee strengthening exercises. Mrs. Quarles would like to give a special shout out to Kyle Rasco for working with them in creating the videos, to Ms. Shaw, Ms. Hobgood, and Ms. Austin for providing guidance and offering suggestions for improving their portfolio before they submitted their research. Mrs. Quarles also shared with me that it has definitely been a different kind of year in TSA. She is looking forward to beginning a new year that is hopefully a little closer to normal. Join me in congratulating each of these students and to their advisor, Mrs. Angela Quarles, one more time.
Between them, I'm going to just like right here. That way you can see. No, don't say, don't have sword.
Several of these students are headed off to college. So So,
One of them will be leaving these.
wow.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Quarles.
Now you feel like me.
Fifth emanation, that's pretty impressive.
They're going to Dunkin' Donuts to celebrate, just so you'll know.
I wasn't invited, were you invited?
No, I was not. It is my pleasure to recognize at this time our Director of Personnel, Mr. Chris Parker. There are many facets to his responsibilities when it comes to dealing with personnel. However, his recognition tonight required the use of his savvy technology skills in addition to his knowledge on all things related to human resources. The Georgia Association of School Personnel Administrators, also known as GASPA, held its annual conference in June and recognized personnel professionals for their outstanding achievements in various areas of human resources. Mr. Chris Parker was presented top honors in the Platinum Award of Excellence for Best in Class in the area of employee handbooks. If you want to take a look at some of his outstanding work for yourself, visit our district webpage and you can see the things he has put together under the personnel page. Congratulations to Mr. Parker on this achievement and thank you for the work you do each day as part of your role as our personnel director.
I'm also planning on celebrating at Dunkin' Donuts. You want me to take a picture? Do I have to take a picture?
Oh, get a picture.
Hold on now, you gotta say get in here.
Come on back here, Mr. Parker.
He's volunteered to sing the national anthem at graduation next year.
Hold up, sorry. Sorry, I was blocking.
Don't forget.
Well, okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys.
Great, thank you. Next item on our agenda is Superintendent Reports.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We'll start with the financials. Ms. Smith?
Thank you, Mr. Young. Just want to show y'all this. I'm not going to talk this long, but effective July 1st, the Federal Financial Management for Georgia Local Units of Administration, which is us, handbook changed on the financial reporting requirements to the board. Our typical general fund report exceeded their requirements. We will continue to do that, but we will also be presenting, we've been presenting Fund 100, 150, SPLOST in a different format, debt service, all those. They want it in a specific format. I believe Ms. Seegers attached the rules of this chapter to e-board. No, you don't.
Okay.
You don't. But in there, there's a template. Their template is very small, very simple, but each board can decide what they want to choose, what they choose to present. We are presenting more detail than we have to, so we are exceeding the minimum. We are doing that because we feel it's important for you to see by what is called function code level by revenue and expense in Fund 100, which is by far our largest category. We will also do that for Fund 150, which is new. That's a consolidation of funds, just so y'all stay in the loop with what we're doing with it. Capital outlay, we can actually show you the budget, the revenue expense, and any encumbrances or purchase orders that are still open on one line, and that's it. We don't like that. We're gonna break it out like we do general fund. There are some that are our grants are. We will do a little more simplified model because there may be up to 25 different funds encompassed, and if we do a page per, then we're going to be here for a while. I'm going to present tonight, and I don't know if I need glasses up close or far away. Yeah, it's too close. The only thing that is different about this report is we had a 1/12 of our budget. That kind of started about 15 years ago with a particular board member's request. We want to adhere to the format that the DOE has requested, so I did remove it. If you would like it back, please let the superintendent know and we'll put it back. I don't know that we ever talked about that column, but this will exceed the minimum requirement. As you can see with general fund, now I have to get eyeballs here. Fund 100, which is our general fund where most of our money funnels through. Our collection at the end of June 2021 was 98.04%, and expenditures are at 94.76% of the amended budget. Let me go ahead and say these are not final budget numbers, and here's why. We are allowed to continue to collect revenue through July on certain taxes and July and August for property tax, real estate transfer, intangible, and we can do 1 month for TABIT. So we will continue. We actually have to set up a special coding, but to back it into this year. Those are the rules of that financial management manual that we have to adhere to. We also have a few purchase orders that are still outstanding, or some items. We may be doing journal entries to clean up. We're closing grants. We may have to move money around if it's not in the appropriate place, because we must go through and clear each grant, make sure everything adheres to what it should be. If something's in there that shouldn't, if something's missing and got thrown into general fund, we have to clean those up. We are still doing that. Different grant categories have different closure dates. Vocational state grants are July 31st. We have, I believe we have any in August. Most of the rest of the grants and general fund are September 30th. So that is the final date we can submit what is called our DE 46, which is every single penny that we spend anywhere in the system to the state for approval. If you wait till that day, you're going to be here until about 2 o'clock in the morning, because it won't take it that quickly. You have to wait for final approval. We will try to have that taken care of well before that time frame. But we will continue to bring, we must bring the final version to you. It could be in September. Whenever it is, I still have to bring it back and present the final version to you. So you may see this more than one more time. But we're working hard on those grants. Those new CARES, CRISA, and CARES and CRISA grants are some of those things we're still doing paperwork to see if something is going to qualify, and it might get moved from general fund into those grants.
Well, Ms. Smith, this new format that the state is putting on you, are they going to accept your more detailed form instead of their form?
Yes.
They're not going to make more work for you, are they?
It is a little more work. It's not that much more work, and I think it is important. I agree with I agree with the change. I do like our format that has more information, but yes, they will accept more detail.
Okay.
They want the system to be transparent with the public, with the board members, and actually this is specific reporting to the board.
Mm-hmm.
It also has to be approved, and we've already been doing that. But it's a few more. I think it's 1 or 2 more pages to present. It's not that much more work. It was kind of trying to figure out. They actually didn't push the template out to us until about 10 days ago. So that was the fun part. It's like, what are you going to tell us to do? But they had talked us through, well, it's going to be minimal. We thought it would be much more extensive. We knew this was coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's been being talked about for 2 years. It did not get passed last year. It did this year. So we knew there would be a change. I mean, this is no big deal for me, for us. I like to check and double check and triple check to make sure everything is correct. So it's just trying to manipulate, okay, what report is going to pull it like we need it to pull.
Okay.
So we got that figured out. Took us about a day, and we put it together in an hour or 2.
Well, I just didn't want them to create more work for you.
That happens sometimes, and that's okay. But we'll meet the requirement. Always meet at least the minimum, but we will exceed. And they actually, when audit comes, they'll check to make sure we meet the minimum requirements. They always check the board minutes. They love the fact that we use e-board. They look at e-board. I don't have to give them minutes unless they've not been approved and are still in draft form. So they look out there and see what we attach, and they would address it if we didn't meet the requirement.
All right.
But Martha, if you will scroll down, and let's look at consolidation of funds. The Fund 150 reflects the expenditures and transfers to the date of this report. Final transfers for June have not been recorded yet. I think I mentioned this in another board meeting. once we close the month, you have to print the reports, send them out to every location that has something in here, which for us is 5 schools. Those principals have to sign off, then it comes back to the federal programs director. They have to sign off, then I have to sign off. So that takes a little bit of time. If there is anything that is not correct, you have to make adjustments and do it all again. So that's why by the time we have the board meeting, you typically won't have the transfers there. But in the end, this will net out to what we budgeted for the expense. And again, like I said, you will see the final version. If you'll, let's see, scroll, debt service is showing there. And of course, love to report that the system has no debt. Scroll just a little bit more. Now, SPLOST, capital outlay, this funds $300 through $399. You have seen this in a little different format. So I have converted it into this format. As you can see, the revenue for June 2021 was $607,489.88. You can't see this in this report, but I've been reporting this information. I'm going to continue to report it to you just so you know. Interest earned was $3,015.17. Expenditures for the month totaled $170,921.83. And the month-end SPLOST balance was $9,674,909.46. That is way more information than we're required, but I think it is important that you hear that. Just because we have significant projects, especially next year, we're going to continue to share that information with you. And also our 12-month SPLOST average is still over $572,000 per month. The next category is special revenue funds. In these funds are all those federal grants, the ones I keep having to amend the budget for that keep moving. All those grants, our food service department, and then we are the fiscal agent for GLRS. It is a 500 fund, but it is a federal fund, so I do report it in this category. We are not required to include the school budgets of their internal accounts. We can continue to do the quarterly reporting like we have been for them. We do not set a budget for them, therefore we do not have to include it here. But we will still bring that revenue expense back to you by school per quarter as we have been. Again, these are not final figures for FY21, and we'll bring it back when we have a final version for you. Now, do y'all have questions on these reports? Do you have anything that comes up that you look at and want to know about?
The 112th column, was that based on a monthly breakdown?
It was to show you what 1/12 of the budget is. The only problem with that in some categories is we don't collect it 1/12 at a time. QBE, our state money, we typically do.
Right.
But when it comes to property tax, we don't collect a lot at the beginning of the year.
Right.
And then we hit November, December, and January where we collect a lot more than 1/12. So if you would like it to remain on there, we can add it back. No one had actually talked about it for a long
I
time.
was going to say, I don't remember you ever actually talking about it.
Right now, like when I start bringing the July 21 for FY22, if we're under a spending resolution, it is a good way to check it. And see, I still have it in my report, I just hide it when I print it. That is a time that it might be important. But during the year, you can just see if we're on track. But if it is not a monthly, an absolute set monthly, I mean, I can take it or leave it on that one. Y'all, if you would like us to continue to do that, we can. That is not hard. It's we plug the numbers in, do the formula, and it's there. What happens is sometimes the report gets wider than the page, and it's hard to give you some information I feel like you need. But we can do it either way. And that is all I have at this time.
Okay. Any questions? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Amy. Operations and construction, Mr. Gilleland.
I'll start off giving you a little update on some of the projects we got underway. The tape ceiling work, the plaster work is well underway. They'll be finishing the ceiling up this week. All the support parts are in place. They'll just be putting the ceiling tile back in. light fixtures go in first of the week. By the end of the week, we should be totally through that project. I wish you'd go by and look at the building. If you're out that way, we re-caulked and painted all the windows and stuff. They were getting in bad shape. And it's just amazing how much that little bit makes such a facelift on the old building like that. It's looking good. Most of the work at all the schools is on target, should be done. The only thing I'm worried about, and I know it's going to be a little later, the bleachers in the gymnasium at the junior high. Manufacturing delay of 2 weeks now, so it's going to be the second week in August, but I've already talked with Dr. Flatt, and we're working things out to help them to still be able to do their open house and all that stuff, but that's part of the times right now. I hate it. We'll be scheduling the groundbreaking for the junior high ag center soon, so we can get y'all out there and get a picture. We redesigned the road, so we're waiting on the civil to finish one thing so we can make sure we don't take too much out right there. Transportation. New buses should be arriving within the next 2 weeks. Once we have them on site, we have to install radios and cameras and do a DOT inspection before we put them on the road. That takes a week or two, so we may not have them on the road by the time the day school starts, but they'll be on the road the first month probably. We're excited about that too, because that really helps our fleet out. We went to the conference a couple of weeks ago. The transportation was very informative, a lot of information, a lot of classes, a lot of certifications we need to get done because COVID stepped in the way of that last year, so we all should be caught up on that now. And we're pushing out all the safety training back to the bus drivers and all. They have to have that completed before the year starts. So they do it online the way they've got it set up now, which is good. Beth wanted me to mention that they had a district wellness committee has completed their assessment of the local wellness policy. It had to be done by June the 30th of 2021. It's a deadline always set by the USDA. All schools were in compliance with the regulations and goals. And a full report we'll post on the website in July 12th. So the public and all y'all can read the whole report. It's pretty interesting. Summer program, I think is some interesting news. We're feeding about 600 meals a day, breakfast and lunch for campers at the Boys and Girls Club, the high school, football, baseball, all their workout stuff. We've got some other things coming up, band camp. And Beth wanted to commend her staff that worked this summer. They took, they get paid, but it's a lot of extra effort to come in and do this over the summer when they don't have vacation. So she just wanted me to mention that. And that's it.
How's the VoIP and communication stuff coming? Is that all on track?
It's good, isn't it?
They're at the high school right now.
Yeah, that's the last one. Yeah, it's.
What are y'all thinking now as far as ag timeline?
I want it done by December for sure. Like I said, I didn't figure it was going to happen in June with the steel problems and stuff we're having, but July, August. But I'm pushing to get it done by the end of this fiscal year, this calendar year. That's what I'm trying, and it should. Unless we have an unforeseen problem with some product somewhere, we should. And we've got a meeting next Monday with the architects and with the ag people at the high school to do the final look over of those drawings of that center. And once we get all their yeses or nos, I'll shoot y'all a copy of the preliminary stuff. I'll just shoot you the basics, the floor plan and the facade and all that, and let you see what it looks like.
Thank you. Thanks, Stacy. Madam Chair, that completes my reports.
All right, thank you. The next item on the agenda is action items. The first one is the approval of financial reports. Do I have a motion to approve the financial reports that Ms. Smith presented?
I'll make that motion, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Gartrell,
Second.
second by Mr. Smith. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. Motion passes unanimously. The next item is approval of personnel. Do I have a motion to approve the personnel action report as presented?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Mr. Smith. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Holland. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. The PAR is approved as presented. The next item is the approval of the FY21 budget amendment. Do I have a motion to approve the FY21 budget amendment as presented?
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Mr. Green and Mr. Holland. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. All right, the motion passes unanimously. The next item is the approval of a spending resolution for August 2021. Do I have a motion to approve the August 2021 spending resolution as presented?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Mr. Green
I'll second.
and Mr. Gartrell. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. The next item is the approval of FY22 tentative budget. Do I have a motion to approve the FY22 tentative budget as presented? Do I hear a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Holland?
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Gartrell, seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. The FY22 tentative budget has been approved unanimously. The next item is the approval of the FY22 salary schedules. Mr. Young, do you have any additional information on the requested salary schedules?
I do, Madam Chair. I'm asking for board approval of the FY22 salary schedules, which includes a new salary schedule for our classified staff. This new salary schedule recognizes the importance and value of our non-certified employees in the district. This salary schedule will place each non-certified staff member on a pay scale that will allow them to earn a pay raise for each year of service that they have with our system. In the past, staff received a yearly longevity raise of $125. Along with this $125 per year raise, they might receive an additional raise when a superintendent asks and a board approved a specific raise for a specific group, meaning that these staff members could go for years with only a $125 per year pay increase. We have staff members that have been with us for 20 to 30 years and make very little more than when they started. This is not fair and did not recognize the importance of these people. Our doors would not open each day so that our teachers could do the wonderful things that they do without those buses rolling, those kitchens cooking, those bookkeepers bookkeeping, those secretaries greeting visitors with a smile each day, and I've only mentioned a very small part of our support staff. So let me just say again, this new pay scale will be for every Pickens County School District classified employee. I want to thank Mr. Parker for his hard work in gathering the salary information that we used from surrounding counties as we created this new scale, and I want to thank Ms. Smith for her help in making this a part of the budget that we are now presenting to the board. Most importantly, I want to thank the board for its willingness and its desire to recognize this large group for the contribution that it makes to our system. Without the board's support of this initiative, this would not have been possible. So I'm asking for approval of these presented salary schedules, Madam Chair.
All right. Thank you very much.
I'll make a motion that we approve.
Second.
Okay.
Third.
You can tell that we're very much in favor of this salary schedule. All right. I had a motion from Mr. Gartrell, and the second was Mr. Green. Third was from Mr. Holland. All right, is there any further discussion?
Madam Chair, I'd just like to say that's long overdue, and I would commend the superintendent and his staff for coming up with such a beautiful plan that is sustainable going forward. And I would like for all the employees to know how much we appreciate them, especially those hourly people who are often overlooked. And enjoy your raise.
Well, I agree with you completely. It's long overdue, and I hope that all those employees realize how much we appreciate them. And while it's not $1 million, I hope they understand how much we do appreciate the work that they put in, and the teachers could not do what they do without them. All right, any further discussion? All in favor? You can only put one hand up. Okay. All in favor, 5-0. The motion passes unanimously. All right, Mr. Young, the next item is approval of Edgenuity online program.
These companies always come up with catchy names, Madam Chair, but I am asking for board approval for this contract with Edgenuity, which will provide us with our online program that will be used at PACE, our alternative school. This program has been used previously by the alternative school and will provide our courses for grades 6 through 12 in all of our core academic areas, as well as our electives and our world languages. So I'd ask for board approval this evening.
All right, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the Edgenuity online program as presented?
I'll give the motion.
Okay. Mr. Green, and a second from Mr. Hall? Okay, Mr. Hall, and then? Do I hear a second?
I'll second with a question. Second and then.
Okay, well, we have time. Is there any further discussion?
What's the cost of this program?
It was $13,000 and a little change.
Okay. I just didn't see that, so. Thank you.
Okay. Good question. Is there any further discussion?
Don't mind.
13 to
250.
There we go. Great.
Chris Parker's hourly rate, that should work.
I'm paid in awards at board.
We'll need a manual on that. All right, all in favor of this program? 5-0, passes unanimously. Thank you. All right, the next item is approval of the CompuClaim service agreement. Mr. Young, do you have some information on this agreement, please?
I do, Madam Chair. I'm asking for approval of this contract with CompuClaim to be our Medicaid billing provider for the coming school year. CompuClaim will provide our therapists with a more streamlined billing process than our previous provider, which will free them up from excess paperwork so that they can spend more time providing services. So I'm asking for approval of that service agreement.
Okay, great, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the CompuClaim service agreement as presented? Okay, Mr. Smith? Do I hear a second?
I'll say.
Okay, Mr. Bartram? Is there any further discussion? Any questions? All in favor? 5-0. Thank you very much. The next item is the approval of the North Star FY22 Intersystem Agreement. Mr. Young, do you have any comments on this agreement?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'm asking for renewal of our annual contract with North Star, which is part of the GNET's school system for the state of Georgia for the purpose of providing educational and therapeutic support to our students with significant emotional behavioral disorders. And I'm sure everybody's familiar with this location in the old central office building. We've had a relationship now with them for a number of years, and we just want to renew the agreement.
Okay.
So I'm asking for approval.
All right, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the FY22 Intersystem Agreement with North Star?
I'll make that motion, Madam Chair.
Okay.
I'll second
Mr. Holland? Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. Motion passes unanimously. Next item is approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the June 10th, 2021 called meeting at 5 p.m., the June 10th, 2021 regular meeting at 6 p.m., and the June 16th, 2021 called board meeting at 1 p.m.?
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Green
Second.
and Mr. Smith seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Madam Chair, I'd just like to clarify, if anybody hadn't been looking at our agenda, that June 16th meeting was a budget workshop.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor? 5-0. Approval of surplus. Do I have a motion to approve the surplus submitted by Harmony Elementary, Tate Elementary, Jasper Middle School, and Pickens Junior High School? These requests include mainly damaged technology equipment. Do I have a motion for surplus? Okay.
Motion.
Mr. Holland? Do I hear a second?
Second.
Mr. Smith? Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. Okay. The next item is board comments. Any board comments? All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that one. Second.
Mr. Smith and Mr. Green? Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. We are adjourned at 6:41 p.m.
Thanks, everybody.